Evaluate 87 times 2 plus 87 times 98 using the distributive property. Before we think about what the distributive property is, let's just have a look at this number sentence. It contains 3 separate operations. There are 2 multiplication symbols and 1 addition symbol. We know that the rules about the order of operations tell us that we always need to multiply before we add or subtract. So we'd need to work out the answer to 87 times 2, then the answer to 87 times 98, and then finally add the 2 together. We're told that we need to evaluate the number sentence or find the answer using the distributive property. Let's remind ourselves what this is. The distributive property tells us that if we add 2 numbers together, let's call them B and C, and then multiply them by another number, we'll call that A, this is exactly the same as if we multiplied both numbers in the addition by the number that we're multiplying by, and then added them together. So A multiplied by B, AB, plus A multiplied by C, or AC. Now, which of these 2 statements written using letters can we see over here? Well, it's the second one, isn't it? A multiplied by B is the same as 87 times 2, and then A multiplied by C is the same as 87 times 98. A must be worth 87. Just to make things easier to follow as we work through the answer, we're going to swap our 2 parts to our distributive property around. There we go. Now we've put the format that we've got already on the left. So now let's use the distributive property to write our number sentence in another way. First, we need to write the number we're multiplying by, which is 87. That's the same number in both multiplications. And then inside parentheses or brackets, we need to write the 2 numbers that form part of the addition. 2 plus 98. Can you see now how we've used the distributive property to turn this statement into this statement? But why do we want to rearrange it like this? Couldn't we just have worked the answer out like we said at the start, to work out both multiplications and then add the 2 together? Well, by doing what we've done, we've helped ourselves in 2 ways. Firstly, if you look at the way we were going to find the answer, there were 3 different steps, 3 different things we needed to do. Step 1, we needed to work out 87 multiplied by 2. That would have been okay to do, but the next step would have been fairly tricky because we'd then have had to have worked out 87 multiplied by 98. That's a little bit harder. And then our third step would have been to add the 2 products together. 3 steps to find the answer. But by using the distributive property to rearrange the number sentence, we've now only got 2 steps. This part's in parentheses or brackets, which means we need to do it first. So our first step is to add 2 and 98 together. And then our second step is to multiply 87 by whatever the total of those 2 numbers is. So the first reason why we'd want to do this is there are less steps. And the second reason why we'd want to do this is because of the numbers involved. If we add together 2 and 98, we can see that it makes 100. So our calculation becomes 87 multiplied by 100. A nice round number. So much easier than working out 87 times 98. When we multiply a number by 100, the digits shift 2 places to the left. So 87 times 100 is 8,700. We use the distributive property to help us find the answer. If we added together 2 and 98 first, we made a round number, 100. So all we had to do then was to multiply 87 by 100 to find the answer. We converted our problem into 2 steps, and those 2 steps were very straightforward steps. 87 times 2 plus 87 times 98 equals 8,700.